Welcome to the Convo Lounge, everybody, with your hosts, Antonio Crow, Char Rochelle, and Amir Anthony. In today's episode, we're talking about the Innanets. The Innanets are undefeated.
The undefeated champs.
Straight up. For real.
Yeah, but a lot of music has been dropping on the Innanets before we get to that juicy stuff. So a couple of projects that stood out with me was Beyonce with the Black Parade. We got J. Cole, Black Eyed Peas, CeeLo Green dropped something new. Pop Smoke, rest in peace, Pop Smoke. Yeah. Griselda Records, Griselda Records. That's my music right now. In August, Alcina dropped the record. Y'all know about that? Crickets.
Bruh.
Yo, August. Well, now that we're friends, August has dropped a lot.
He literally broke social media. Like, internet was broken yesterday because of him.
Internet's been broke.
Yeah, like for a week.
Like,
we got
started with his hair. For me, it all started with his hair.
Oh.
Yeah, it had like a carrot top thing going.
Yeah, the K. Michelle circa 2008 hairstyle.
But we got to shout out Angela Yee because she got the juicy interview. Like, what?
No, that is true.
True. Actually, I thought it was supposed to be about his album dropping. You know what I mean? Never really dawned on me that I think it was really about that interview about him and Jada.
But you know what they did talk about? Him and Yee did also talk about his documentary. So they did talk about that a lot. And then they dropped a bomb on us. The suspected bomb.
The bomb.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, first of all, I was like, you know, let's find out and see what the reaction is going to be and if Jada's going to actually come to the table, right? And then when she announced that she was, I was like, damn. And then the reaction was like, the memes. The one that got me, y'all, I got to say it, I sent it to y'all, was the Uncle Phil episode with Will. My favorite Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episode when Will's dad, you know, left him hanging, and his favorite line is why he don't want me no more, man.
That's
right.
Down with that, and oh man, I got so many different memes yesterday. I was just like, I had to literally log off. I couldn't take it.
That's why the Innanets are undefeated. Yes. That is why.
Y'all, they won.
They won yet again. Shout out to Black Twitter. Like, thank you for all of your glory, for never, ever, ever disappointing us.
I you know what? To be honest with you, there's a part of me that, and I felt like it was needed, given everything that's going on. We needed some kind of like juicy gossip entertainment. This is kind of like keep things going. But that was a lot. That was just a lot.
I mean, I'm just gonna say it personally. I don't like the red table. I get it. Like, look, I get that it was a great idea. I get that it was a great idea, but straight up and down, it held her to a higher responsibility because the juicy juice came out on her, and she had to bring herself to her own table.
That's what life is. Life is holding yourself to the same standard that you hold everybody else to. It's called accountability.
Yeah.
The same way you expect people to be honest and transparent and vulnerable, you gotta do the same thing. So I find no fault in the red table. I find no fault in yesterday's episode of the Red Table Talk. I do think that Jada may need to go see Ayana Von Zant because entanglement, like, sis, call a thing a thing. Like, we'll say it, like, with a relationship.
Right.
Like,
and hey, real talk. When
I wanted to feel good.
I was like, thank you, brother, because she tried to hit him with a curveball. And he's like, let's just call, like, we're grown. Like, we're adults. We've been married for over 20 years. Like,
right.
Hey, what was the curveball?
The fact that she threw out the word entanglement. Like, what was that? When she said that, I was like, huh? I was like, hold on, like, time out, pause. Like, and then Will was like, nah, let's call it what it was. He was like, what was you doing?
Right.
It was like, yeah. Like, okay, so you was fooling around with him. The funniest being too was it was two of them actually. The Drake one when they were backstage at the concert and Drake was like trying to figure out what's up, and then the one on the red carpet. That is classic because the look on her face and the smirk was like, yeah.
Yeah, Queen Latifah. Yeah,
my sister up to no good. She got that little brother hooked. Got him hooked.
Right.
But here's the thing. He didn't have to speak on it, but I guess it was it was needed.
Why? It's his truth. Why can't he speak on his truth?
He spoke on it, but okay. To Antonio's point, I like the fact that Jada did come to the table and the tables were turned because Will even said, like, let me ask the questions, and then they put Jada in a position where he had to speak up on something that we all, was like, what's going on? Like, are you going to actually, like, give details? And, maybe
right.
Ayana moment. But I think it was good to see two couples that have been married that are celebrities discuss and put their business out there because we expect to get that information from the likes of TMZ and others, and they tell our stories. So I'm happy that two Black couples that have been married that we look at, even J. Cole, shout out to J. Cole, that Will and that Jada love. I guess you got to, reverse.
Hey, I agree with you, Amir, on that because what they did show is a unit and in marriage, a marital unit that had a challenge and they've overcome it and they had their own platform to release the information and how they're resolving it. Because at the end of the day, no other media platform is probably going to represent it the way they were able to represent it on their platform.
They owned it on their platform. They owned it. They own that whole, the red tape that's there. That's their platform. And they control that, and they control the narrative. And they didn't allow Harvey Levin, a Don Lemon, Oprah, Ayana.
Entertainment.
Gayle King.
Right. Oh, Gayle. Yeah. So they allowed themselves to be vulnerable and speak on what he spoke on. And it's done. It was good entertainment. We now have another word in 2020 that we can add. I know, Shar, you said it's already in the dictionary, but now we have entanglement.
Well, it's a thing. Like, she wasn't wrong for calling it an entanglement. It is a thing. It's a dictionary.
No.
You cheat.
Real talk.
Right.
Real talk. I've been in some entanglements, and ain't nothing new.
Same Z's. Same Z's. I've definitely been in an entanglement or 5.
Right.
So I get it. I totally get it. But here's the thing. Like, I think it's easy for people on the internet to have a conversation about a marriage. But at the end of the day, like, this is a Black couple that's been married for over 20 years.
Salute.
And have overcome
a lot
infidelity. And this is a Black man who's overcome his wife being unfaithful, which is something that a lot of men can't do.
No.
And like he said, what did I tell you year one? That I will love you unconditionally through everything. And I feel like everybody is taking the negative and they're not looking at the positive. This man is showing this woman unconditional love. And that's something that people don't want to see. They're so quick to cancel somebody for, I get it. Like, I never want to be cheated on. I've been cheated on. I get it. But like, they're so quick to cancel people on a flaw, something that was lacking. She wasn't happy, an issue in their relationship, but they worked through that together. They overcame something that a lot of couples don't. Like, look at the divorce rate.
But then we look, then you go into their scenario situation. Like, they are a power family. They're a power couple, power family. I think it's better to keep that unit together, work through the challenges internally. Unfortunately, they have that external element, which is the table or whatever, how they release it to us. But they have a lot going on in their family. They have children stars. They have their businesses. There's a song, Cheaper to Keep Her. In a man's sense, that's the element. I'm sure Jada probably felt like, I know what you got.
Wait.
It's cheaper to keep.
Go back. I'm sorry.
Cheaper to Keep Her, Johnny Taylor, is a blues song. Google it. It's cheaper.
So that's why they stay together, because
No.
it's cheaper to keep her, because you don't want to pay spousal support or alimony or child support.
This is Antonio talking, and the song Johnny Taylor is Cheaper to Keep Her. But think if they split, look what happened with Dr. Dre right now, right? Dr. Dre, I don't even know the specifics, but Dr. Dre's getting divorced. Unfortunately, I don't like the fact that people get together in part, but they got a lot of money to split. They have a lot of assets. That is a difficult scenario for those people. So, if you find love and it's meaningful, we should always try to maintain, retain, sustain whatever we can while we can, because, tomorrow's not promised and all that good stuff.
And I think this is one of my last points on Will and Jada. They are just showing us that relationships, marriage especially, it's work. It's not bliss. It's work. And you got to work and you got to compromise and you have to communicate. And the fact that those two adults can get in front of each other in the world and tell their truth. Do you know how many couples do not tell their truth to each other?
They don't. They
I honor their transparency and their vulnerability. And Jada didn't even really want to get married. Like, that was something that, like, she never really believed in the institution of marriage.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So again, like, it's easy for us to throw stones without knowing the full story of what's going on in their household. Clearly what they're doing works for them. So if it don't work for you, don't marry somebody who's open to having extramarital affairs. Well, that's simple.
And for real. And I recall reading that about Jada, and I think that once again, I like the fact that they use their brand, their platform to bring everything to the table. No pun. And they also
all fun.
Yeah. And I like the fact also that, when Antonio spoke on with Dr. Dre, another relationship, another Black man who is extremely famous, and there's no prenup, and there is, going to be an implosion there in terms of like the money and whatever happens. But I think it was really cool that they were able to come together and speak on it. But, that is what it is. That's their business. We now know it.
And I know Pac in heaven pissed off. Like, how you let that little Rudy Poop motherfucker hit? You ain't even give me no, but you know what I'm saying? Like, what is this?
Bruh.
Antonio.
Bruh.
Oh my God.
All right. So on the same line of what we've been talking about, the Innanets, we gotta shout out, not shout out, but we gotta bring up a few people. Let's start off with 50 Cent and Lil Wayne. We had a couple of episodes back, we talked about colorism. Now we gotta bring up exotic women. What is that? What does that mean? So we had two famous Black entertainers, celebrities, 50 Cent, Lil Wayne. 50 Cent was on Lil Wayne's podcast, and he had that to say. Shar, what's your take on that?
Oh gosh, why would you ask a Black woman?
I just wanted to know, like, what did you think about, like, when coming off of the heels of a colorism episode that we had, and then you have a Black man who's talking about exotic women. I'm like, I know what I felt when I heard that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean? Like, are you saying that Black women can't be exotic? Or exotic women, all women can be exotic in their own right, but are you just portraying that image? And then he kind of took to the level of Black women and their attitude and started shining light on that. And I'm like, okay, we gotta like change. Like, I don't know. I just think as a Black man, we have to be very careful on how we say things about women, and when we box women in on certain things and say, oh, well, this, that, like you try to categorize them and identify color or identify ethnicity as form of defining what a woman is. So exotic women don't have attitudes?
Okay, so what's an exotic woman?
And that's what I was trying to get, because I'm like, I've been outside of the country and I've seen women that are of color that are beautiful. I don't use the term exotic like that. I don't use that term like that, but there's beautiful women outside of the country, and I've been able to see them when I've traveled. So I'm just trying to figure out, when he said that, and then you see the type of women that him 50 Cent and Lil Wayne are attracted to, then it's like, okay,
Yeah.
they're not, they probably don't identify with the African diaspora, or they're, identify as Black women. But if you're a woman of color, you may have to raise a finger there and say, hold on, wait a minute now, brother. Like, pause. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, for sure. And here's my thing, like, for sure, he was way out of pocket. And you, as a man, 50, you can like who you want to like, but don't try to justify it and say Black women are angry because of the type of women that you like. Like, it goes back to the point that I made in the colorism episode of, we really got to do better as a people of traveling more, getting outside of our neighborhoods more, so that we can be exposed to other cultures, other ethnicities, so that when we see it, we don't make a fetish out of it and become infatuated by it, for one. And for two, I find it highly disappointing because it's another case of a Black man not protecting a Black woman. And I feel like Black women are constantly caping for Black men, and it's not reciprocated.
No.
It's not. And it's like those days, especially with all that's going on in COVID's America, 50 got to do better. Like, he needs to do his own healing work and learn to appreciate and value Blackness in its totality. Like, again, what does that say about all of the Black women in your family, brother?
Well, okay. Well, we know that 50 has stated some of the relationships that he had with his parent in song, so he kind of communicated with that. I feel like exotic women are of all shades. Unfortunately, when you Google exotic women, you probably get a non-Black woman or non-African woman. But when you look at some of the classic pictures of African women, you see the exoticness of Africa. I don't know. It's like it's the beauty. I want to say beautiful. I think he's not doing the statement justice. But at the same time, with Black women getting angry because you date that type of girl, or you date that type of girl. Yeah. I look at it like this, and I personalize this. If I'm Black, and I see a Black woman, and I like that Black woman, she don't like me. But then if she says, I try to get with her and then we can't get together, and I tried and we can't get together, then I go and date something other than Black, and you mad, that's a different example, in my opinion.
Well, okay, so here's my thing. 50 Cent is not the spokesperson for all Black men, and I think that when he speaks on things like that, he's not the most articulated person in that category to be speaking on things like that. It's a podcast, it's a platform. He's entitled to say what he wants to say. But I think if you're a Black man, you're not saying, yeah, you know what, 50, right? Yeah, 50, no. Like,
right, yeah, I mean, more or less, no.
If you travel, like Char was saying, like, we've all traveled out of the country, and when you see the larger picture, you kind of take away and say, okay, that's not accurate. And I think when you're in a position of power as a Black man, as any other person of color, I think you have to be very mindful of protecting your community and what you choose to say. And I think that us as Black people, we continue to drive that home in a way to where it's damaging. And we continue to do it so often. And as men that have money, that also eat power, and they allow themselves to say the things that they say. And I felt bad for Lil Wayne's daughter because she has to hear that stuff, or Lil Wayne's, the mother of, what was it? What's his, I can't think of her name.
Toya.
Yeah.
Toya's the baby's mom, and Reginae is the daughter, I believe.
I think they ended up saying something, but it's like, like, be mindful of that. You know what I'm saying? If I'm raising a daughter, why would I say something like that? Like, I don't know. I just think, once again, outside of that, the brothers have a platform. I'm a big fan of 50 on the work that he does in terms of like power and some of the work that he's done. But I think when it comes to matters of race, politics or anything that has to do with the Black community, he is not the spokesperson to be speaking.
Right.
Speaking on another individual that is mind-boggling to me, he just needs to stick to old fight.
Wait, can we go back to 50?
Right, yeah.
Not to cut you off, but let's just play devil's advocate and assume that Black women are angry.
Right.
Find out why. Like, are you curious as a Black man to know why we're angry? Are you curious as a Black man to try to find a solution to our anger? Or do you want to just pin it off as a problem and sweep it under the rug and go date outside of your race?
Well,
That's Black.
That's why I said, if it's a specific person that's angry at me because I dated someone else, my thing is, if I tried to get with you and you didn't want to get with me, then you can't be mad if I go and get with somebody else.
I hear you, but I'm just saying, like, angry Black woman is a phrase that's toted around by the Black man. Like, it was invented by Black men and white society. Figure out why we're so angry.
And that's what I was saying earlier.
And help us heal from that anger.
Well, yeah.
Opposed to
it's a
like
stereotype.
kicking it to the curb.
It's a stereotype on Black women. It's not a stereotype on women. It's a stereotype specifically on Black women. And this is not time for Black men to be talking about Black women in that light, especially Black men that have a platform. I feel like and that's what I was saying, that Black, when we are in position, we find ways sometimes to do the things, to do the dirty work for those that, so automatically, you know, you associate Black women with attitude. Automatically, you associate Black men with anger. So when you are in a position like a 50 Cent or Lil Wayne, and you have the audacity to say that and then joke around in it in a manner to where it's okay and funny, it's like, bruh, like, you guys gotta, like, if you're a comedian, you're a comedian, but you're not a comedian. Yeah. Be mindful of what you're saying, because it can have an effect. And you know, Lil Wayne has, you know, a daughter, and he just got to be mindful. I just think that it was just out of pocket, and then, you know, you got to do.
Yeah, you talking about two rappers that are not conscious rappers talking about the women they like. So, you know, consider this.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, stick to what you do. You wouldn't expect that to come out of the mouth of a Talib Kweli, a Common, and Mos Def, Yasin Bey, you know, Ice Cube. You know, shout out to Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? You know, another brother that's been married to his wife for like, at least over 25 years. So now this, you know, but what I was going to go back to is on the lines of Black men that are in a position and have a platform. Terry Crews. Terry Crews, man. Terry Crews. Stick to Old Spice commercials, bro.
Terry Crews needs prayer. He really needs prayer. And a strong dose of a reality check, because he is Uncle Tomming up the wazoo. On
steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah, my man.
Like, the fact that he doesn't even know that Black Lives Matter, like, the fact that he doesn't even know the value of and the purpose of Black Lives Matter is, as a Black man married to a Black woman raising Black kids, that's scary.
But he tries to use that as a cover-up. Then he tried to say, well, because my wife is a specific color, and he tried put it like this. I guess the best way to sum up Terry Crews is the character he played in the movie with the Wayans brothers, White Chick.
Okay.
It's not far-fetched. We now know who you are. Like that,
right.
You are that character straight up. And you know, he's this, and like Don Lemon had interviewed him the other day, and Don Lemon's facial expressions were classic. If you have not seen that interview, just check it out. Don Lemon was just like he was just like, I got so many things I want to throw your way, but I'm just going to let you just continue to just dig a hole deeper for yourself, because you are lost. You are lost.
I think Terry Crews should have went on a Black Lives Matter protest or stand-in, because he thinks that Black Lives Matter participants are militant. Now, I've never seen a militant energy from Black Lives Matter.
But I've seen a militant energy from the KKK.
Right.
Terry Crews needs a real level of healing, and he needs a lesson in Black history, because clearly he doesn't know where he came from.
Well, not only that, but see, the thing is, once again, we continue to have people in our community that use the platform, and they're being used. He's just being used. He's going to continue to be used. They're going to continue.
But that's because he doesn't know himself. Like, if you have a strong sense of self, you can't be used.
Oh, he has no knowledge of himself. The only knowledge you have is the brother is a muscle. He's had too many protein shakes, and it's just.
Hey,
soy protein. He uses soy protein.
That's Mr. Me Too. He Mr. Me Too.
Yeah, the fact that he allowed himself to be in that position to speak on something like that, but he can't, speak up and be comfortable on his Blackness, and it's just amazing to me how people who are not in the Black community are open to be a part of the Black community and be an ally. And you have people like him and others who continue to find ways to just talk about things that are just inaccurate. And
yeah, but
I don't feel bad for the brother. It's just laughable, and you continue to be. I don't like using the word, but continue to be that coon.
Yeah, this is why having the right partner is important, because his wife needs to pull him to the side and check him.
He's enjoying the benefits of what he's doing anyway. Being a talent on that stupid show.
He like that.
And Old Spice coming dancing and
go back.
Dancing the picture.
Go back and listen to the episode Love Is. Guys, get a strong sense of self-love so you never sell yourself out, no matter what the dollar amount is. Stay true to yourselves, people. Always.
Yeah, that's enough on those three individuals. They can always come back home. And my dad used to say something back in the day, when it comes to brothers, never trust a brother with no mustache.
Mike, I think Antonio Pearl is. Should we trust you?
Wait. Amir said they can always come back home.
They can always come back home.
We want y'all back. Come back.
You can always come back home.
But here's the thing, guys. Go to your inner home. Go to your home frequency and heal, brothers. Please heal.
Yes.
And we got you. We got y'all back.
All right. Yes.
Okay. The Karen reports.
I feel like this is like the new UFO, the new Sasquatch, the new you know what I'm saying? Like the Sasquatch sighting. Like you can go to Trader Joe's and find your fellow Karen at your local.
That's where I don't want to go. I do not want to encounter a Karen, bro. I'm not sure how I'm gonna handle it.
Because I'm not in the mood. It would be, but yeah, this is a lot. Okay, here's my thing. I can go on Instagram right now. I can go on any other social media platform, and I'm bound to see some situation or an encounter of some. And it's like always, it's like the same. Like this, it's like almost like you know what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
They all have. It's like they group together and they disperse them out in certain pockets of the country, and they're at your local Trader Joe's, Whole Foods. You know what I'm saying? Your Sprouts, and they're in the produce section, or they're at your parking lot, or they're at the dog park, or they're wherever they're dispersed at, and they find the need to just poke you like that. Look, listen, it's a lot, and I don't know if is it a hoax? Is it real? It's funny because what are they really gonna do to you? To be honest,
it's real. It's real. Karens are a bunch of.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
If I had an encounter with one, I would laugh at him and I would just be like, okay, all right, have a good day, God bless.
For sure, it's a bunch of middle-aged, miserable white women using their privilege to try to intimidate Black people. That's all Karens are.
It's funny. It is very funny. It is sad. It's pathetic, and it's enough.
Yeah, we're done.
And it's white women though. It's not like white men. You don't have Bob, Jim.
Oh, they're there. They are there.
They're there.
They are there.
There's couples. So like the couple who pulled the gun on the sister in the parking lot. Then you have the couple who defaced the mural, the Black Lives Matter mural up in Northern Cal.
Wait, and then they painted it black.
They painted it black, but they're facing charges. This like the other couple who pulled the gun on that sister. They're about to face charges. So, you know, having these right here, this is a powerful device right here.
Yeah.
Yo, Amy Cooper. What happened? Oh boy, Amy Cooper. He said he wanted to testify on her or something. What was that?
So is that a hoax? Is that a hoax? That's scary.
That is.
We now have the power to allow someone suffer the repercussions for an action they did, and you're saying, I think she suffered enough. This is the issue. And here's my issue with Christian Cooper. It's not about you. Like, it's about every other Karen that has wrongfully accused a black man for something that they did not do. Like, this is reparations, sir.
Well, you know,
let her get her just due. We've been fighting for justice for white people to not all white people, but white people who use their privilege incorrectly. We've been fighting for them to be, what's the word I'm looking for?
What we have
to face their consequence, and now we have it, and you're saying no. Do it for slavery, yo. Like,
yeah, but see the thing. Okay, so first of all, that brother should have been in the previous segment with 50, Lil Wayne, and Terry Crews, because I totally forgot what he did. He totally dropped the ball. In my opinion, I think the brother got paid. He did what he needed to do, and he felt the need to say, okay, the damage has been done, and there's really nothing more for me to do. And it's like, you know, once again to my point, like my dad, you know, don't trust a brother with no mustache. Like,
hey man,
hey, you got a mustache, bro. But it's a brother in the park taking photos of birds. Is probably not the right brother to go up against the Karen. Just saying.
Bro, their last names is both Karen.
The brother was taking pictures of birds. Like a brother that's taking pictures.
What's wrong with that?
No, I'm just saying I wouldn't expect a brother like that to stand up to no Karen. A brother taking pictures of
because he loves nature.
He's a kind of brother. I'm just not expecting
Amir. Really? Amir.
I'm not expecting him to have the backbone to go up against a Karen. I'm just saying that's
because he loves nature. He doesn't have a backbone. Come on now.
He's taking pictures of birds in Central Park.
Are y'all listening to yourselves?
He's a photographer. I get it. He got an appreciation. I mean, I went to college.
Charlotte, I am clowning. Okay, first of all, I'm clowning the fact that a brother taking pictures in the park of birds, I don't expect him to be someone to like stand up to something like that. When I saw him talking on national television,
he was out of breath.
Platform to defend himself, he didn't defend himself. Like, did you see the interviews?
No,
like,
I couldn't
do it. Watch the interviews of the brother, and I was just like, okay, he's gonna get paid off, and that's the end of that story. Like, out of all the episodes that took place, he actually had the opportunity to go up against what was going on. And
I feel you.
Like, the brother's taking photos of birds in the park, in Central Park, that happens to be the same park where 5 brothers were wrongly accused of something that they didn't do.
You have
the backbone to stand up to something that happened to you, but you're more focused on the fact of other things. Like, he got paid off. He did what he needed to do. And I think we all looked at him like, yeah, we knew who you were from the whole entire time. Like, we didn't expect you to, like, keep pushing.
Yeah.
So he did what he did.
But see, that's why.
Nothing against. I'm all about nature. I'm just clowning the fact I didn't expect a brother taking photos of birds to be the brother to speak up against a Karen. I'm just saying, I love nature. I've been to Yosemite National Park. I'm just speaking on the fact that I wouldn't expect a brother taking photos of birds to be like, enough is enough. We can't take this no more.
Amir, I'm okay. All right. I love you, friend.
Shout out to nature. I love there's birds.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. The conspiracy theorist in me feels like it's a hoax. Because how is it that you get that far up the justice ladder and you say, no, never mind? Did your hoax go too far? and now you want to renege. Like, if you really felt as offended as you did the day that you called the police and aired this out to all the reports, actually his sister did, and you went on all these TV shows, you should have just let it continue. Going back to the money, never sell your soul for a coin. Know your worth, people. Know your worth.
My brother got paid and got a new camera. He's chilling. He's good.
He got a new camera. He taking pictures of new birds. He about to fly. He about to get flued out.
Yeah.
He take pictures of exotic birds now.
Right. Propaganda.
He's about to be on a whole nother level. National Geographic.
Wow.
There they go. Yeah, he's good. He ain't tripping.
Absolutely.
Brothers in the birds.
But see, that as Black people, we have to stop doing that. And I know that I'm going off the course of our episode, but like, we have to stop being so desperate for money because we come from a place of poverty and scarcity. A lot of us, that we stop allowing white society to use a coin against us. Like, stop it.
Because okay, so
let these people serve their time.
Let me just say this, because I 100% feel what you're saying, Shar. And so many of us, from our parents that worked so hard for us, we were in poverty, and some of the kids didn't even know it. You feel me? So it's like, right? So like we need to recognize how hard our parents worked for us, because a lot of kids was in poverty, they didn't even know it.
Yep.
That hit me in the heart, because I know my mom's was one, and she worked hard, yo, and it's like single parent and all that. So it's like I don't even look to be like that I need a handout. I'm trying to go and get it. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And like I said, it's the brother used his platform and he used it for his cause, not for the cause that the rest of us are fighting for. He got what he needed to get, and she got her dog back. You know what I'm saying? So everybody is an even playing field. Everybody, he got a camera and he got paid. She got her dog. Everybody's good.
In the middle, that's crazy. Like, I do want to talk to Christian myself now, because in the middle of a racial war and a fight for equality, that's how you went out.
He felt
that's
it.
How you went out.
It's the Tiger Woods effect. Like I'm in a position, in a platform, I can be the pioneer of something. And let's be honest, like if I'm not mistaken, he was like somewhat that first encounter during all of this that took place. Like that was like the breaking point of things starting to unravel. And like Tiger Woods, you know, who was given a position to be the face of golf for Black Americans, and the pioneers before him like Lee Elder and others, he didn't feel the need to like say, you know, we need more, or, you know, just kind of push that agenda. He didn't feel that he got what he needed, and it's all good.
That's scary. And Breonna Taylor's killers are still free.
It happens so often to our community. No other community allows that to happen to them. And I guarantee that if it was another one of our brothers and sisters of color, they would have not went out like that. They would have had that Central Park would have been protests at Central Park. There would have been opportunity, but the brother got what he needed. He went on Good Morning America and he got paid. I think he went on CNN. He did his television tour and he got what he needed. So he got a new platform there.
That's crazy.
He got a new camera, and he's, you know, doing his bird thing. Yeah, shout out to the bird. So
go ahead.
What's that?
So this Black National Anthem being played during the NFL games. What's up with that, man?
Another way for them to patronize Black America. Yeah. We don't want to be patronized. Nah. We just want to stop being killed unjustifiably. That's it. Like, stop killing us. Do y'all even know all the lyrics to the Black National Anthem?
Okay. I know a good portion of it. I think that, shout out to Jamil Hill. She got a little bit of flack, but it was a joke. But it's like, she was like straight up, like, a lot of Black folk don't even know the full song, but now the NFL wants to use it as a platform. Once again, profiting off of a specific group. It's like so here's the thing about the NFL that is so, there's so much hypocrisy in the NFL. They profit off of the military. I'm going to say it again. They profit off of the military. They profit off of the likeness of the American flag. And there is a flag code. You can look it up that you cannot profit or monetize off of the American flag. And they profitize off of the military. So when the NFL had the nerve to be afraid of what Kaepernick was doing, once again, I mentioned in the previous episode, Kaepernick was not against the national. He was actually protesting the police brutality, the way things were being done in communities of color, primarily in Black and brown communities, and how we were being mistreated in areas where we're disenfranchised and come from low socioeconomic backgrounds. He was fighting against that. And a former military person, I'm not sure what branch it was, told him that you are not showing any dishonor by kneeling. It is still showing a form of honor when you are kneeling. If he was in the locker room, then it's a different story. So now the NFL is like, okay, let's go ahead and put the Black National Anthem in the speakers. You're not going to have no fans in the stadium anyway, okay? Television crews probably won't even televise that. So what is the purpose of having a national anthem that is the Black National Anthem? What is the purpose of that? Like, what I really want to ask Commissioner Goodell, what is the purpose of that? What you need to be doing is focusing on the agenda of having more Black coaches, having more Black GMs, having more Black ownership. That should be the focus. There is a rule in the NFL called the Rooney Rule that the Rooney family, who owns these Steelers, shout out to the Pittsburgh Steelers, Torrey, Antonio, Joanne, shout out to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Rooney family came up with that rule to where every NFL team, all 32 teams, did interview, not hire, but interview a person of color. So you don't have that many Black coaches. The league is dominated by 75+% of Black players. You don't have a representation of that. So that's my beef with the NFL. They need to focus on that. Don't focus on a song. Focus on change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely correct. And just like to the point of knowing all the lyrics to the Black National Anthem, yeah, we sing it good until we get to that little last part.
You start to hum it.
Right. Everybody just be like, and it gets all mixed up.
We start off real strong.
Right.
Real strong.
Right. And then at the end, it'd be like, yeah.
Right.
And yeah, we need to focus on change. I mean, most of the people that participate in the NFL now grew up, the actual players, they grew up dreaming to be there. You know what I'm saying? But how has the NFL protected those people that they're bringing, that they're scouting, that they're recruiting, that they're paying these millions to? I mean, it's one thing that they give them money, that's their salary, but at the same time, they have a responsibility for the awareness of community, the awareness of that. You know, most time, like I play football, but basically it's Black and Hispanic. So we all, you know, teams, you get along, you work towards a goal, and that's to win. And it should be less about really winning and then coming to like the community aspect. And a lot of players do the community outreach, Black and white or Latino. They do cancer outreach. They do like leukemia, the various types of cancer. Some rebuild communities. But how are the owners taking responsibility for the communities and race relations? You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of times celebrities, owners, and whatnot, they feel like it's not their responsibility to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
No doubt. And that's the thing. It's like Black coaches are an endangered species in the NFL, and it's just unfortunate. They're giving opportunities of, you know, being coordinators. They're given opportunities of doing other things. But when you look at the whole institutional organization of the NFL and the fact that the ownership of the NFL, the owners, back Trump, and their whole beef with bringing a Kaepernick into the fold in the good boy club, in the good old boy club, is protecting their dollars and their advertisers and their sponsorships. So like the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, the league is 70% Black. You are afraid to have someone like that because you have partnerships with the likes of Papa John's and Pepsi and, you know, AT&T. So it's just amazing to me how they try to use other ways to deflect and say, well, let's just do their song and it will just all go away.
Yeah, I don't want to hear this.
We don't want that. We want to see more ownership. And I challenge the likes of Jay-Z, who's now in a position with the NFL, you know, Puff Daddy, you know, Dr. Dre, you know, shout out to Ice Cube, who has his own basketball league, you know, the Big Three. Like, he did that, you know what I'm saying? But even someone like Byron Allen, who has a ton of wealth, like, use that money and partner up with these other people of color. And let's try to get some ownership. You know, get it Alex Rodriguez, get it Jennifer Lopez, get it, you know, the Williams sisters. You know, try to come together and buy one of these football teams and hire someone in position to coach. You know, there are a lot of brothers. There are a lot of, you have Ron Rivera, who is of Hispanic Latino descent, that is now the coach of your team, Shar, in your area, that is also going through a name change. The Washington, I'm not going to say their name. But
I don't have a team. I don't follow sports.
I know, but I'm just saying in your hometown.
I'm from LA.
What? But my point is that the DC football team has a name that is derogatory to our brothers and sisters who are Native Americans, and their owner is in a fight right now with FedEx, who has the rights to the name of the stadium. They're trying to get a stadium rebuild, our stadium name change. No, they're trying to get a new stadium, but they need to change the name. And there are a few other teams, other leagues that have names that are derogatory towards indigenous people. So we just got to be mindful of the institution of sports and what they stand by. And the biggest consumers are people of color. You know, look at the Raiders. I can go to a Raider game right now. Shout out to the Raiders. I got plenty of friends out there that I grew up with, you know, that come from a Latino and African heritage. And the Raiders, you know, that's the squad right there. And
yeah,
you know, the Raiders have always, one thing I can give the Raiders credit for is that Al Davis, when he was in control of the team, he always made sure that he hired someone of color in the coaching or as a GM. You know what I'm saying? He's always had that. So the Raiders have always been on that focus. Same thing with the Steelers, who also have. But we need more of that agenda to be pushed to where you can do that. A song is not going to fix that. And, you know, you're not going to have the fans, you know, with everything that's going on. You know, the NBA, shout out to the NBA. Shout out to the WNBA for putting Breonna on their jerseys.
Let's go.
I'll shout out the Raiders because my dad was a fan of the Raiders, like a diehard fan. So I'll shout them out.
Everybody I know is a Raiders fan.
And there's a reason behind that. You will not find, I'm telling you right now, I know this is from growing up in LA, and when they were here in LA, there is a reason why people of color have always rallied behind the Raiders is because of their diversity, you know, hiring diversity. They've always stood by that. Commitment to excellence. That's straight up. And they're in Vegas now, and it's going to be, their stadium is really nice too. I actually had the chance to see the photos. But yeah, you know, the NFL need to, that's not cool.
It stands for not for long anyway. Not for long.
That's another acronym. That and also the No Fun League.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys boycott the NFL a couple of seasons ago?
I did.
Okay.
I did not participate in the usual fandom, you know, being, you know, I am a Sunday ticket holder, NFL Sunday ticket. I decided not to do like my usual double screens and participate in anything, you know.
What was that other football league?
Yeah, that actually folded. You talking about the
XFL.
Yeah, they took it financially.
I enjoyed the XFL. I wholeheartedly enjoyed the XFL. I've seen a lot of people gravitating towards it. And then players that had succumbed to not for long were able to get back and play. Some of the college kids that weren't recruited fresh out of college probably had another type of look from the XFL. where the NFL probably turned the eye on him. So, yeah, it was hard for me to boycott the NFL for political reasons. I get it, but for the sport, like football, just really consumed my whole life. So it's kind of hard to not watch football.
No doubt. So speaking along the line of athletes, there was a few athletes that got a lot of flack. And, Farrakhan had his speech, Minister Farrakhan, the minister of Islam on the 4th of July had a speech. I did tune in. And there were a lot of athletes, Stephen Jackson and Deshaun Jackson, no relation. They, took the time to go on their social media platform and express what, Minister Farrakhan has said. And there were people who looked at it as being anti-Semitic. And, the thing is that on the lines of ownership and on the lines of, populated by those who are of Jewish heritage. And there were a lot of people that looked at that as the timing of it. And I had a chance to tune in, but I just want to know what your guys' take was on Farrakhan's speech.
I'm gonna say.
I think it was.
Go ahead.
I think it was necessary for sure. I'm glad he spoke. I'm glad that he spoke on the 4th of July. It was necessary. It was needed. I appreciate the Nation of Islam for their support and protection for Black women. And yeah, those are my thoughts.
Farrakhan, amazing individual. He assumed a great responsibility by receiving the calling to be a leader. Specifically, the speech he spoke to him not having any animosity towards Jews. He spoke on that for a long time. I really get a distaste from the fact that people look at the nation as a militant group. And they look at Black people as militants, right? Because when we love each other, we have love for ourselves, and we want the wrongdoing to be stopped by white people. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm just gonna get in like scatterbrain with this, but Farrakhan is about knowledge of self, protection of family, protecting the Black woman, and building a future, building businesses, taking care of yourself. And it's really unfortunate, like, even in history, you watch the Donahue show or the Geraldo Rivera show, and Farrakhan comes with the NOI, the FOI, and people are intimidated, right? Mm-hmm. They're intimidated, but that's his armor bearers, his protectors, because you have to protect the man with the message. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Let's just look at it. The Secret Service protects the president. Mm-hmm. Well, it makes sense. Like, but going back to the speech, very necessary. I really zoned in with what he referenced regarding the Jews, and I was happy to see that, because we need to build relationships instead of tearing each other down or having these animosities or misunderstandings. And I feel that Farrakhan did a great work. He's getting older. I did see that. He's getting older, but he's strong. He's strong in his conviction. He's strong in the word of the Bible and the Quran, right? Yeah. And I just think that it's too much time being spent on misunderstanding Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. It's just too much understanding, because in religion, it's almost like it's a competition. Like the Christians against the Buddhists, and it's just a competition. At the end of the day, we still trying to go to our heaven. You know what I mean? We're still trying to win souls for Christ and be better people on earth. And it's earth, not earth. But yeah, that's all I got to say.
I totally feel you. I feel like we are wasting so much time with divide. But again, going back to your point about how they keep trying to paint the picture that Black people are militant. Anytime we band together, We saw it with the Black Panther movement. We're seeing it with the Nation of Islam. We saw it with Marcus Garvey. Like, anytime we try to band together, we saw it with the Civil Rights Movement. They always try to make it as if we're being militant. But that just goes to show that their goal was always to divide us. That's why they brought us to this country, to break us down and to divide us, because they know that together, united, strong, we are something to fear. But here's the thing, just like the young lady said in the video that went viral, our goal is not to get revenge. And you guys are lucky we don't want revenge. All we want is equality. That's it. That's it.
And Farrakhan, Malcolm X had the opinion of equal to who? We are kings. We don't need to be we're queens, we're kings. We don't need to be equal. Like, where's this equality coming from? And at the same time, we just need, if anything, our share. We need that opportunity, and we're not going to showboat the opportunity. Unfortunately, our people, in the economic sense, we have been shown strength economically, right?
Yeah.
After Black Wall Street was disbanded, the way we're viewed economically as a whole, maybe not as at the level of other ethnicities and other communities. And that's because we were separated, unfortunately. But outside of that, equality, we set the standard, if you will, because especially with pop culture, everyone follows what Black people do, period.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So,
but see, going back, so that's the thing, like, we have had Black wealth within our community, but every time we do it, they shut it down. So we think about Black Wall Street, we think about Harlem Renaissance, we think about Marcus Garvey, Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League. I had to read it, I had to Google it. But there were banks, there were businesses, there was his trade line, the Black Star Line. Like, we had it all.
So
we had it all. We need to rebuild it. And the sad part is, like, we might need to keep rebuilding, because there might be another demise, but we need to make sure that our money stays within our community. And that's where we keep lacking.
Well, I think when you look at Farrakhan's speech, and, you know, he is getting up there in age, he is, in my opinion, the last that we have of those greats that you just mentioned. You know, the Marcus Garveys, the W.B. Du Bois, the Malcolm X's, the Dr. Kings, you know, even Dick Gregory. I mean, there's so many down the line that you can have always been down with our community, Dr. Sebi, the list goes on. So I just think when it comes to what Farrakhan did, the timing of it was necessary, and it was important for not just the Black community, but everyone. And the thing is, I think that the word anti-Semitism is used a lot when it comes to a group of organizations that are deemed quote unquote Black, and there is a sense of community and there is empowerment. When you see FOI, when you see NOI, you see empowerment. You're empowering your community. You're empowering women, you're empowering men. And the Nation of Islam is actually an inclusive group. There are people that are in the NOI that may not have the same skin tone or may not identify with the African diaspora, but they are part of it. And if you listen to Farrakhan's speech, he's not trying to tear down any organization or any other religion. He's trying to build with brothers from other ethnicities, other religious groups. And he quotes scripture. He quotes scripture coming from the word of God. And he's using that as an opportunity of solidarity to say we have to do better. And when he is speaking, we have to listen and we have to dissect it in a way to where it's like, this is what the message is. And I just felt like when athletes that have a platform like a Deshaun Jackson or Steven Jackson, I think you just have to be mindful of how you interpret it and know your audience and not step away. You know, Steven, he was friends with George Floyd. His platform to focus on police brutality and injustice in the Black community, Black and brown community, he has the platform to do it. But just be mindful when you have a platform, it's important to have people in your corner that can coach you and tell you, hey, if you're going to do this, make sure you have all the facts. Make sure you are mindful of what you're saying and what you're doing. Deshaun Jackson put something up on his Instagram and he had to take it down because there was inaccuracies with what he was saying. There are certain things that people who have titles are entitled to speak on. If you are a professor, if you are a man of God or a man of a certain faith, if you are a teacher, whatever your title is, you are actually trained and educated in that area. So just be mindful when you hit copy and paste and what you paste into your, make sure it is accurate and make sure you know who your audience is. And don't step away from what you're doing because automatically there's a target on your back. There is a target on Steven Jackson's back because of his affiliation with George Floyd. He's been doing a great job with what he is doing. I appreciate what he's doing. But don't step out of your lane. Stay in your lane and allow the people who have that position to do that for you. And they are, and if I'm mistaken, he is a follower of Farrakhan, and that is good that he is a follower of Farrakhan. But just be mindful of what you're doing. I think athletes, they have the platform to do what they're doing, and I just hope that they continue to use that platform. But this is a shout out to all the athletes in the NBA, WNBA, that are showcasing. The NBA has done a phenomenal job. The WNBA also, this making sure that they're shedding light on what's going on in the country and they're not being tone deaf to it. But I think, once again, Farrakhan's speech was needed. We needed to hear that. But again, we just have to be mindful of what his purpose is. So that's my take on that. And I just think that, once again, the Innanets, I think from June up until now, has this been off the chain.
Innanets.
Like the whole gamut of the Innanets has just been like, you can literally write a book. You can do a song of the Innanets from like even the beginning of the year or just this last like 30, 45 days has just been off the hook, especially the last 24 hours. Very entertaining.
We can have Smokey Robinson write a song on the internet.
Oh, God. Y'all look up Smokey Robinson game banging. Y'all look that up. Shout out to Freddie Gibbs, dope rapper, by the way. He actually had it on his IG story, and I thought that it was the most hilarious thing I saw earlier this week. Smokey Robinson he let it out there.
And nobody disagrees with the message, though. Nobody.
Yeah, the message was great.
Just the video and
the song was whack. The presentation was whack.
The presentation of it is whack. The lyrics were very interesting. Drinking that wine, doing that time, game banging. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Hey, real quick, where can they check us out, though?
The Convo Lounge on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, our personal pages. I'm at Char.Rochelle on Instagram.
The Prosperous One, and that is _prosperous_1.
Antonio Pro Clothing on Instagram. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel because you will get notifications of our recent and every episode.
And some dope promos, by the way, too. Little bloopers.
Yeah. Can we talk about, before we go, how the Black businesses are prospering on the internet these days?
Go ahead,
shout them out.
All right, I'm going to shout out a few. So I want to shout out my friend, my girl, at Fab Cassie. She has a talk show called The Time Is Now. You can find it on Instagram every Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I want to shout out my girl, Reese Colbert, for her page. She goes online on YouTube every day, Black Women Views. I want to shout out my best friend and sister, Amanda Mason, and her husband, Stephen Mason. They have a Universal Black News page. And I want to shout out my girl, Frankie One. She's a DJ. She's been giving us club quarantine vibes during this pandemic. And last but not least, my girl, All Things El Pierre, who is a yoga instructor as well as a Reiki instructor or a Reiki practitioner, and she's a songstress. So, shout out.
So, I want to give a shout out to my boy, Derek Russell, he created Elaine's bread pudding. It's on
Ooh.
Instagram. They're fire. The bread puddings are delicious.
Does he ship?
Yeah, he ships. So we'll put the info on the YouTube for y'all.
My last shout out is the Life Tagger app. They are a Black startup and they are promoting Black businesses nationwide. So make sure y'all go follow them.
And I want to give a shout out real quick to my brother Jonah Jackson. He's on Instagram as Jonah, like in the Bible, JONAH.J, JAY. Talented brother. I want to give him a shout out. He's actually from Houston area, 3rd Ward, same area from George Floyd. He has a dope mural that he did in honor of George Floyd. He was actually a student of mine at my school, and hopefully we have him on one of our shows. But check out his Instagram. He also has merch representing 3rd Ward Clothing. Dope brother. Shout out. I want to give a shout out to him. But thank you again for tuning in on this episode of the Convo Lounge. The Innanets is undefeated. Y'all be blessed. Stay blessed. Be well. Peace.